I've talked about it before on my blog and all over Facebook and YouTube, everywhere. I've talked about how when I first got tossed into this life altering disaster, I need to stay focused on this because I'm triggering. I am literally like, so anyway, when I first got onto the internet, not through like Facebook or any of whatever was there for social media, as much as I think I was finding people through websites. So whoever was I was communicating with and who was communicating back with me, they were a lot more technologically savvy than I was, for sure. I mean, I was pretty much still in the Stone Age, you've got mail, AOL frame of reference. Although I had read huge tutorials, Pongo's tutorials and others to get myself selling on eBay way back in the 90s, but that was with a tutorial. So I knew some coding and I'd done coding before, way back when we faxed. We didn't have fax, we had NVAX, which was this big computer disaster that nobody really had good coding to operate. It was crazy. But anyway, I'm breathing. When I first got on the internet around 2006, when I started searching out information, I was coming across people with blogs on their own style of websites. This was before WordPress, LinkedIn, or even pretty much Facebook. Facebook was still in its infancies. There was no YouTube that I know of. But anyway, all right. So they were saying to me, don't talk to therapists. Don't tell people what's going on with you because they are going to try to drug you. Well, already at that point, I had been so fucked up on Ambien that it's insane that it's not all over my medical records. And at that point, I was on benzodiazepines in order to stop me from being hysterical from what the Ambien was doing, had done to me. I mean, Ambien fried my brain, literally fried my brain. So I don't know. One of my associates here where I live, she said she doesn't think it was the Ambien as much as it was that I didn't sleep for those. No, she said she goes without. She said she goes days without sleep and it doesn't bother her. That's what she said. She said it was not those 16 days that you went without sleep that fried your brain. It was the Ambien. That's what she thinks. And I think that's true. I think that is true. Although going 16 days without sleep didn't help. It did not help. Oh my God. Anyway, people were warning me that don't talk about what these people are doing to you. You know, the cycle, like what the multicare people. I wasn't saying multicare. I didn't really I didn't really get it, but now I do. Now I do, and I've survived it, and I've gotten to a place where I'm in this very good place. I've got the right insurance benefits for, for my conditions. I still am in a good therapy group, but I'm only here because of what the doctors did to me. But of it all, what I know is that ever since that multicare doctor reported that I am bipolar, which 10 years later became a trash bag for negative reactions, side effects from psych drugs. If they put that pretty much most of it under the psych drug category or under bipolar category. I don't understand why, but anyway, in the DSM. But anyway, I just wrote a lot on the last video that I posted because we're in a situation, I'm in a situation where I have seen the worst of every industry, every kind of employee in every industry. And I've said this sometimes about Hillary Clinton. When Bill Clinton was president, he put Hillary Clinton in charge of trying to make uniform billing codes among insurance companies. And I've worked in billing codes before in the auto industry, and I saw how manufacturers would get out of having to pay the automobile dealerships for repairs that they had to make on poorly manufactured automobiles. And they made the billing codes impossible to almost everything in the car. To get paid from a manufacturer was next to impossible. And that's something like what was going on in the medical industry, because insurance companies hate paying doctors unless they're bribing them, unless there's a payoff, through the pharmaceutical slime balls who go in and out of the doctor's offices with their briefcases full of drugs and a lot of gossip. And a lot of doctors love gossip. So, not all, but they think they're getting privy to outside information on their patients. Not that it's ugly. I've seen the ugly in everything. I've seen the ugly in insurance, from insurance. Oh, I've gone on and on about it. I've seen way too much ugly. So, when I have a doctor calling me, telling me I have to keep an appointment, or I have to reschedule an appointment with a doctor that I don't really want to see, and my reasons are valid for not wanting to continue on. I know my conditions. I was thinking about the renal thing. In 2013, they had me on lithium carbonate, one of the worst binders to deliver lithium to the brain, carbonate. And the doctor said, by the looks of your lab tests, you're going to be on dialysis by the end of the year. That was 2013. And I said, oh, hell no. And that's when I knew I was going to have to keep my kidneys boosted through nutritional support. And I've done that. And so when I look at the cardiology report from, it's either 2000, I'll just say 2019, from 2019 regarding my atrial fibrillation, and it shows that my kidneys are failing in the process, not failed. I look at that and I think right now, well, good. He should have mentioned that to me. He should have told my Dr. Kim. He should have pointed that out to my Dr. Kim. My Dr. Kim should have seen it. My primary should have seen it. This is all shirking of responsibility. But nonetheless, when like 4 years later, I'm reading it, and I'm saying, oh, wow, okay, my kidneys are failing. Okay, well, I'll continue doing what I can to keep them supported. And now I think about it and I think, oh, I must be doing the right thing. And so if my kidneys are worse, that should show up in any of the tests that my primary is taking. I'm going to have my blood drawn. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when I see her the next time, but I'm not going back to a cardiologist. All that cardiologist is doing is waiting to treat me. The cardio version already was a failure. So the Xarelto metoprolol and diltiazem already was a failure. Now, my blood pressure is a little bit higher than what I like seeing it. I took it the other night and it was like 168 over like 76 or 80. That's higher than I really want it to be, but that's because I'm fat and because I'm eating a lot of food with salt in it. I'm eating a lot of salt. So I can change it, but I think I can change it. So anyway, I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, you know what? No, okay, I feel like I'm being threatened, and I feel like I'm being threatened because right now I have got the benefits that I deserve based upon my conditions, based upon the notes, based upon what's already on record. I don't need anything more, but I also know that these insurance companies, just like the government, they will turn on us, accuse us of fraud. They accuse us of fraud so that we just throw money at them. It's kind of like a lot of the police. They just pull us over so that they can fine us in some areas, not so much around here, I don't think, but in some areas they will just pull you over so they can fine you. They're looking for money. My son's best friend was a San Jose PD, and he was catching a lot of bad guys. And his chief told him, you know, that's great, you're catching all the bad guys, but catching bad guys costs us money. It doesn't make us money. Start issuing more traffic tickets. That's a fact. That's a fact. So, you know, and they'll turn on us. They look to us to be the money makers. I don't know how we're going to get out of this economy with all of this the way. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What I know is that I've been taking care of my kidneys. I take care of my heart. I don't want to have any drugs, and they're looking for ways to give me drugs. Give me drugs or give me surgeries. And I'm not going there. And if I don't, then I may be threatened with loss of benefits through the insurance company. I'm not jumping through the hoops. I'm not letting them control me. I'm not ever. I will have to suffer the consequences if it means that they take away my good insurance benefits. I'll have to live with that because I'm not going to spend the last years of my life with doctors. I didn't spend the first 49 years of my life with doctors, and anytime I came across them, I always got fucked over. Every time family members had to cross with doctors, they got fucked over. In fact, the surgery, my gallbladder surgery, was the first time I have ever not ended up fucked over by a doctor. So they're writing things in their notes that are not true. They have it spun that they're doing it just to help us. They're just trying to help. And on the most part, they're setting us up for failure and possibly having some stupid insurance company that's needing the money or wanting the money for some executive or whatever, from DEI or whatever, to accuse us of fraud and not only stop giving us the benefits, but like the government does, they come back for more money. Not just what they say that they gave you, that they should never have given you to begin with, which is a lie because they should have given it to you to begin with, but they will come back for more. And it's like, I'm not going there. I am not going there. So I pretty much have it settled now in my mind. I'm not triggering that much anymore. When I see the doctor, I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to be doing those things. The best things that I do for myself, I do it through nutrition. I don't eat a lot of junk, and I take care of myself as best that I can. And I can take care of myself better than they can. I've proven that. I have proven that. So that's all.